Yeah, so the main thing is anyone who uses these platforms that give them analytics and sort of data about the audience granularity, they're looking at things where they find out that, and it's sort of expected, right? Like, before I say this out loud, someone knows this innately in their mind, but as soon as it's said out loud, they're like, that makes a lot of sense. Mahira Khan's majority followers, 74% male.
Yeah.
Why is she holding always?
Yeah.
Why? Now, here's the funny part. When I say this to people, they're like, "To uska matlab hai, agar Fawad ki following is primarily female, to unko always pakra de." I'm saying that this is the data. Now, how you figure out the creative, how it makes sense to have him endorse the product or talk about the product, talk about the problem, that's up to you. Again, I'm not a creative. I can't give ideas of how they should go about it. But what I do see is there's a lot of shift happening in the market. And even if people don't change in that direction, the two big media agencies in Pakistan that are subscribers of Profit and also read these kind of reports, based on this report, they both have invested in their own platforms. They're creating their own platforms. So,
what do you mean creating their own platforms?
Creating their own tools that allow you to see the audience analytics and plan your campaigns according to that. So I've literally gotten emails from the CEOs and the chairmen of these companies saying, can you come in for a detailed conversation about this? So this is another part of our monetization model as Profit, where we say we will also give you business intelligence. And so people reach out and they're like, hey, I'm sure there was, they reach out, they're like, I'm sure there was more to this report. We're like, yes, there was. Let's have a call. Let's have a consultation call.
Right, sure.
And Vase, they do a whole consultation call where we give them more data that they probably could not access from the report itself. And then that gives an idea of, it validates it for them. Yes, this data is real. Yes, the market is growing. Here are the low barriers of entry of how we can get into this and how we can make money off this. So because these two are doing it, a big part of their investment is going to be hammering this message at every single multinational or even Setia company in Pakistan that this is the only way we're going to do influencer marketing with you. You have to use this audience analytics tool. So even if my report doesn't do jack shit, these two large media agencies that are able to control the entire Pakistan market in their grasp, these are the ones who can tell Geo what to say and what not to say. So they're that powerful. I'm sure they can tell Unilever what to do and what not, right? And so they'll push their narrative on them. Like, and it's a true narrative, right? It's the narrative that choose your influencer based on where your audience is. The male audience of Fawad Khan, while their majority, for whatever number they are, the majority of them are based on their based on the other content that they consume on Instagram. We would believe that they're under the age of 13 because they're so heavily involved in PUBG and so heavily involved in O levels, test papers, and all that stuff, because their search terms and all that tell us that they're under a certain age.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
it even gives you that kind of data, which is obviously much smarter way to do marketing. मतलब उसमें मजे की बात ये है कि जब यही मीडिया एजेंसीज और ये एडवर्टाइजर्स अगर आप उनको कहे ना कि आप फला रेडियो शो पे आप अपना ऐड लगा दें, वो यही उनका पहला सवाल ये क्या होगा, उनकी ऑडियंस क्या है. मतलब वहां पर स्मार्ट ऑडियंस प्लानिंग होती है, लेकिन इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग पे इट्स लाइक ओ शी इज प्रीटी, लेट्स गिव हर द ब्रांड. और जिन्हें लगता है मुझे बहुत पसंद है, लेट्स गिव हिम बिजनेस. So they're not sophisticated in some areas and they're very sophisticated in other areas.
I suppose it. Would you say that I think we talked about at the beginning that these companies or these agencies are perhaps under a year old who are looking at digital marketing in such a granular way? It might just be like an age thing that they're coming in with like established outdated perceptions, and within a year baat yahan tak aa gayi hai. So I suppose going forward, shit's gonna get crazy.
Even further than that, COVID had a very big role to play. So because of COVID and because of cash constraints and money constraints and all that, the cheapest option with the highest projected return on investment turned out to be influencer marketing.
Right.
And because people have, again, we diverted our attention towards our phones more than anything else. YouTube, all these businesses, their viewership and all that blew up. So a lot of the spending went in that direction anyway because of COVID. And as it went to COVID, luckily, those influencers that they work with proved their effectiveness for driving branding goals or conversion goals. And as a result, the investment grew. So people said, okay, we spent $5,000 on this particular medium. We got the $100,000 at the back of it. Now we're going to spend $10,000 next year, expecting that same 20x return.
Yeah, this
makes sense. They did their part to prove themselves.
Yeah, this also makes sense from a consistent theme on the product on the podcast, where people talk about achieving viral. Now this is more from a content creator perspective, where there's a lot of discussion about getting a shout out from somebody or ye wo bas main mashhoor ho jaunga, and some people are like it's not happening or it's not nahi ho raha. But clearly in this example, if you've been putting in the work, COVID was like an unexpected event. But if you've been putting in the work up to that point, when COVID comes, you're ideally positioned कि अच्छा जी एकदम से nobody was expecting advertising dollars to go from conventional media to new media. Now you're ready, you have this backlog of work, and you get to capitalize. So देखिए lesson बार बार आ रहा है.